growth and innovation. This is day 2 of Tech in Ghana. And yesterday, if you followed our live stream, we spoke to Kokwe, who is the MC and host, and she shared exciting news about today's sessions. You are going to have the Kumasi Overdrive. You are going to have the tribute to Herman Hess, and we're also going to have some students also sharing their insights and what they are also building in the tech ecosystem. And that's basically what today we are going to have musicians around and so many other things. But for now, I have here with me the country lead for Silicon Overdrive Kenya, and he is here with me, Mr. Eric Odipo. You're warmly welcome, sir.
Hello, Abina. I'm very happy to be here.
Okay.
Thank you for the invitation.
Eric, is this the first time in Ghana?
Personally, it's my second time.
Okay.
Yeah, but the first time for Silicon Overdrive for
Okay.
tech in Ghana.
Okay. So
Yes.
can you tell us more about Silicon Overdrive?
Silicon Overdrive is an ICT services company.
Yeah.
We have a regional office in Kenya, Nairobi, where I lead that, and we also have a head office in Cape Town.
Okay.
We are an ICT services company, 30 years old. As well, we have assisted companies across Africa for software development and also to utilize cloud technology. We are an Amazon Web Services premier partner. That's the highest level of partnership globally. And we were the first in Africa to attain that. And that's because of the work that we do to assist startups, SMEs, and other organizations to be able to adapt AWS, that's Amazon Web Services cloud technology.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. And do you have a setup in Ghana?
We don't yet have an office in Ghana.
Okay.
The offices, the customers we have in Ghana, or let's say West Africa broadly, are covered and supported by the regional office in Kenya.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, but then there's a reason you came to Tech in Ghana today. Can you
Yes.
share with us?
Yes.
And then you can also add your experience so far.
Yes. We were very interested in tech in Ghana because Ghana is a really growing economy with a very huge appetite for technology. You have very enterprising young people, very innovative tech community that we have met here. And it's just mind-blowing. It's absolutely mind-blowing. I saw in the ranking of GSMA being 5th in Africa in terms of the lead in the driving technology, be it fintech, health tech, ed tech. And we are here to be able to look for the customers, meet some of the customers we have been dealing with, but also be able to support more customers who want to innovate and leverage cloud technology to just hasten the innovation and to make the innovation more impactful, more sustainable. And that's why we're here.
And what do we get when we visit your stand?
Yeah, when you visit our stand, so first of all, you'll be able to get fantastic photos. We have the best stand here, hey.
Okay.
But also, more seriously, you'll be able to connect with us so that we can be able to assess some of the needs that you have from a business point of view that can be delivered well using cloud technology. Cloud technology has inherent advantages. When you use Amazon Web Services, there is agility. It's easy to deploy. You get access to very high-performing servers and infrastructure. And you're also able to build in infrastructure that is very compliant to the highest security standards, like ISO 27001, PCI DSS. The people in the tech world know about that, and the people in the health world know about HIPAA standards. And so we are able to assist people to build infrastructure to meet those standards. Secondly, there are those who are already using cloud technology. So we are able to assess their environment to tell them how they score against these standards and against best practices. And we don't just leave them there. We also tell them what they need to remedy. We assist them to remedy their infrastructure to meet the high compliance standards that they have to face. Yeah.
More like it's better to lose the infrastructure than the data.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
when you go to a board and there's been a disaster and you're facing your board, you're facing your stakeholders, you're facing your customer, it's better to say, I lost my infrastructure, but I have my data, rather than say, Fuchs, I have all my infrastructure, but I just lost my data. you're going to have a very
terrible.
difficult conversation.
Yeah.
And the true cost of disaster recovery, the true cost is the value of the data.
Okay.
It's not the cost of the technology used to put together. It's the value of infrastructure. So we are really here to assist organizations that also want to do disaster recovery and backup. We want to help them to do it deploy it on AWS cloud, to be able to get very robust and resilient and highly available infrastructure.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you have AWS credits as well available?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's one of the serious advantages we bring, especially being a premier partner. You can get AWS credits,
Okay.
and we are able to guide you because the credit and the funding programs for AWS are many.
Okay.
So as we have a conversation with you, we're able to guide you on the best way to leverage them. Which credit to go for now? How do you tie up to the next one? Which funding program is relevant to what you're trying to do? So that's the expertise and the guidance that we're able to give. Yeah.
That sounds very impactful.
Yes.
Thank you very much for joining us,
Yeah.
Mr. Eric Odipo. I've just been speaking with Mr. Eric Odipo from Silicon Overdrive, and he is in Ghana to share with us some of the exciting things that he has been offering his customers. So thank you very much.
You're most welcome, and I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So we are still here at Tech in Ghana, and Eric just told us about the good stuff for developers, right? It's better for you to have your data secured in the cloud and have a robust infrastructure. They offer the disaster recovery systems for you, and it basically helps you to have a robust system. I think that's really exciting. And if you are an AWS or an Amazon customer, you should definitely pass through their stand, the Silicon Overdrive stand, and get access to all the amazing benefits that he just listed out to us. I've just been joined by this beautiful woman with the natural hair. I love it. How are you doing? It's working. You just
Fine, thank you.
yeah. Okay. Can you introduce yourself?
Sure, I'm Amma Jampo from Scale Up
Okay.
Africa.
Yeah. Scale Up Africa. What's it about?
So Scale Up Africa is really about entrepreneurship support,
Okay.
and we deal with a lot of donors and foundations to structure better programs for our entrepreneurs to grow. And we also support our entrepreneurship support organizations.
Okay, that's great. You had a session earlier this morning, and it's a tribute for Mr. Herman Hess. How was it? And can you share with us some of the things that you spoke about?
Sure, we spoke about Herman Chinnery Hesse, who was a giant of the tech industry in Ghana.
Yeah.
He was the founder and one of the directors at SoftTribe, which is a tech company, which has grown from Ghana, like creating local solutions for local problems for more than 25 years. And so it's a really important story for us to tell and share his work. We were lucky enough to have his son, Ni Tete, Chinnery Hesse, on the panel, and his business partner, David, as well.
Okay.
David Bolton, who was also on the panel. So we're just talking about, how far they've come as a company and how they've planned for the future, and just remembering the life and legacy of Herman Chinnery Hesse and everything that he was able to bring to this community.
You want to share a tribute?
Yes, we did on stage. Yes,
Yeah,
we did. Yes.
A summary of it for our
Yes, it
listeners.
was really just having a conversation to honor his work. Just talking about, again, the foundation, the startup story, how they started up,
how did
in
they
a family
start up?
home,
Okay.
in a garage, in airport, and how that grew into, government contracts and other contracts, commercial contracts, and just really sharing with, entrepreneurs now, like how they did it and the kind of advice in terms of building your team and planning for the future and continuing to innovate, continuing to try new things and produce new products to solve real problems. So it was just a really great time to get to remember him and honor his work and his life and his family and everything that he's been able to build with a huge community of people across Africa, and really talking about like hope and believing in ourselves as Africans, right? Like if we can solve problems that no one has been able to do, people come with solutions that don't fit our environment.
Yeah.
But we have everything it takes to actually create new solutions for ourselves.
Absolutely.
So SoftTribe was, the company is a real case study for us all to study well and learn from the lessons and really learn about the life and the work of that particular individual, Herman Chinua.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I hope they write a book about him.
I'm sure there'll be a book, there'll be a movie, there'll be so many things. I'm sure because there's so
Okay.
much to say. It's such a
Yeah.
great story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You may not be the best person to answer, but basically from the conversations, what does the future look like for Subtribe?
The future looks bright. I mean, I think they planned very well to develop, the talent
Okay.
and management talent. So the co-founders are still there. It wasn't just one founder. There are
Yeah.
three
Okay.
directors, three co-founders. And like I said, Nee, his son is also has been working there for 6 years,
Yeah.
6 years. So it's not, it's a very resilient business, and I'm sure we'll be seeing some exciting new products and solutions coming to the market. So
Yeah.
I'm sure Subtribe will continue to thrive and grow, and we will be very proud to see how they continue after Herman's legacy.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really great to honor some of these industry leaders. Herman has been a leading industry leader in the tech space. He has built so many products that have gone global, and it's a real honor that we had this tribute at Tech in Ghana. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. We're very happy that we had the chance to
Yeah.
create space to tell his story.
Yeah.
So thank you very much,
Yeah.
Tech in Ghana, as well, for having
Yeah.
us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Amma Jampo. Yes, I've just been speaking with Amma Jampo from Scale Up, and she just spoke to us about the conversation she had with a panel, which was on the tribute to Herman Chinua, who was the founder, one of the co-founders of Subtribe. And they basically talked about his life. And actually, Herman has been interviewed at Tech in Ghana. I think he was interviewed last year, and he has been a leader in this ecosystem. And it's good that we leave a legacy for people like this who have taken the lead in this industry to make it where it is now. And so we'll be having more conversations with some of the exhibitors here at the Tech in Ghana conference. And like I mentioned, we are going to be having conversations with the team from Kumasi. We have Hyperspace CEO Gideon Brefo around. We have we'll be having conversations with ESAL, which is a call center that basically helps businesses in order to deliver better customer services. We are going to have conversations with TapTapSend. So do stick with us. And we are going to be also having sessions with Kuro Africa Analytics. And yeah. Okay, so I have just been joined by Mr. David Hatchful from Imachi Biotech. Hello, sir.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you.
Okay, so can you share with us, did you have a session this morning?
Not yet. It's going to be on in the afternoon.
In the afternoon.
Yes.
Can you share with us what it's going to be about?
Yes. So our session is going to actually be about scaling health so that it has impact. There are a lot of digital health projects that have been going on, but to have impact, it needs to be scaled up.
Okay.
And so what we're going to be doing in the session is looking at all the different facets that are required to position a health startup to be able to scale up and have global impact.
I do have a health startup, by the way.
Okay, which
yes,
one is it?
It's Revela, and we are basically in the pre-seed stage.
Okay.
But then we had a conversation with your co-founder.
Good one. Man, woman.
Man.
Yao.
Yao,
Yes.
Dr. Yao Bediako. I don't know why I forgot his name.
No worries.
Yes. But then for the purpose of the people watching who don't know about Yamachi, can you talk a bit about what you do at Yamachi?
Yes. So at Yamachi, we are a life science company that's focused on oncology, which is cancer. And specifically what we're doing is building the world's most diverse genomic database. And the idea is to improve precision medicine and also the diagnostics that are involved in treating cancer.
Yeah. Absolutely. And what brings you to Tech in Ghana aside your speaking session?
Aside my speaking session, well, my background is in tech. I'm a trained software engineer.
Yeah.
I've started a lot of different tech businesses before the biotech business.
Cool.
And I believe sort of having a strong ecosystem of companies, of different individuals involved in the tech space is essential to growing individual companies. So I'm here both to support companies that are coming up,
Okay.
but also to learn about the interesting innovations that people are coming up with to solve the problems that we have in this part of the world.
Since we are talking about innovations and you've been in the space for a long time, can you share with us what trends you are seeing, what future trends we should be expecting, especially in the biotech space?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest trend is AI.
Yeah.
Right. There's a lot of application of AI, specifically large language models,
Okay.
in different domains, and I think that's going to continue. In the biotech space, there's a lot of use of machine learning and AI to sort of advance and make faster the work we do when it comes to analyzing the genomic data that we generate. In the past, it was a very arduous task,
Okay.
but now we're able to build more efficient pipelines that take advantage of the computing power that we now have to allow us to find things more quickly and to sort of get down the drug discovery pipeline in a much more efficient, faster way.
And what advice would you have for a biotech startup that is coming up like mine?
Yeah.
Right, and especially with regards to building robot systems like what Yamachi Biotech has built. Yeah.
And I mean, this is probably advice for every startup.
Cool.
Start small. The key thing is always to start.
Yeah.
But as a biotech company, start small. Find a niche in terms of the problem you're trying to address, and don't be afraid to put yourself out there at a global level.
Okay.
Right? We do have a lot of local problems that your solution will solve, but biotech invariably the problems we're dealing with are global in nature. It affects everybody everywhere, right?
Absolutely.
And so don't be afraid to reach, go out to the conferences outside to put your name out there so that people know what you're addressing. But key thing is start small, take a step at a time, and they're going to be discouraging days, but you've got to move through those. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you
David
too.
Hatchful, for this conversation. I've just been speaking with Mr. David Hatchful, the co-founder of Yamachi Biotech, and he has been sharing with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
Yeah, he has been sharing with us some of the things he's going to be speaking on this afternoon. We are going to have a session on biotech and health startups and what they are working on. And he is going to have a conversation about the future of biotech. He has given us some sneak peek of some of the things he's going to talk about. And so, yes, we just had a conversation. Hello.
Hi, my dear.
Yes, how are you doing?
I'm fine,
You
thank
look
you.
absolutely stunning.
Thank you.
Can you introduce yourself to us?
So I'm Nanajwa Adobe Asante, Kanal Kati. I'm the secretary to the National Communications Authority, and I just spoke about government creating the enabling environment for the tech ecosystem.
Okay, can you share with us what you spoke about?
A myriad of things,
Okay.
but what was key was the fact that to create an enabling environment means access. Yes, and I coined an acronym from that. Okay, so access means affordability. So you should have mobile phones, for instance. You should also have data. Data, the cost of data should be something that should be looked at. So with that, what the government is doing is that there are so many initiatives like satellite licenses. We have Starlink now. That's one of the ways in which the market, when there's a lot of supply in the market, prices come down. So creating the enabling environment means creating the ecosystem where we have a lot of players in the industry to ensure that and help that data prices go down. Also, with the launch of 5G, that is also going to help improve our data prices. Then we come to...
Before we move to the next, still on 5G, which networks are current? I know you had that launch.
Yes, it's been launched, so it's in the pipeline. It's just not when it's introduced, but then there are certain factors or certain things that need to be done.
Okay.
And the MNOs have been charged by our minister at the launch that by December we should be up and running, or by December, if you don't have 5G, we should hold our MNOs accountable. So I know that the MNOs are working tirelessly to ensure that, yes, you see 5G on your phone soon.
Absolutely, yes. Please go ahead.
Okay, then we come to C is connectivity. There's a need for the digital infrastructure. So some of the things that the government has done is add to our national fiber infrastructure. So now 6,000 kilometers of fiber infrastructure have been added. That means that there has been fiber cables of worth 6,000 kilometers has been laid in our grounds. And this, amongst others, like the Rural Telephony Project, has ensured that 700,000 people are now connected. People who were digitally dark or had digital light off have now been connected to the grid to be able to also use the data services that we have.
In which areas?
There's so many communities, so it's throughout the country. Yes, so it's so many communities, not just one region, but throughout the region. This was to ensure that the distribution is quite even. Yes, and then with regards to satellite licensing, and Ghana just also launched its space policy. And this is also so many interesting things that are happening in that space. I'm a member of the committee, the International Bar Association Committee on Space, and the world is going at an astronomical rate when it comes to space.
Okay.
And it is good that Ghana has now launched its space policy so we can benefit from space impacting our economy positively. So
Okay.
these are amongst other things that are being done to create the enabling ecosystem. As a business owner, it's also important that you're not saddled with, the need to fill too many forms, too many documents when you are engaging in your licensing or getting licenses from certain entities. So we have the Ghana.gov portal and now the Citizen app, which are all ways in which it's a one-stop shop or a platform where you go to and you can get all your information on what kind of license you need. If you're a tech startup and you need to know where to get a license for what, because you need to come to the NCA or the Cybersecurity Authority, Data Protection Commission, there's a one-stop shop to get all that. So these are some of the enabling factors or enabling activities that have been put in place to ensure that the necessary digital ecosystem is in place.
Okay, so before you go to the rest of the acronym, you mentioned the space policy, and I basically want to understand why now
Space is something that is
for Ghana?
Yes. Why
Yes.
now? I believe it's a factor. It's a combination of so many factors. There have been for a policy to come into place, you have to have so many engagements, stakeholder engagements, and maybe that is why it is now that it's been launched. Yes, but that being said, it's been launched, and there's so much that we can benefit from.
So,
yes.
what are some of the benefits that who are the target people who are going
For the
to
policy?
benefit?
All of
From
us.
the policy,
So when we
yeah.
talk about space,
Yeah.
what we think is, launching a rocket to go into the outer sphere, the outer outside the earth, right? Yes, but that's not what it is. Well, that's not what it's about. To get internet connection, Starlink, for instance, launches thousands of satellites into the lower Earth orbit for us to get internet. When you can use satellites to even ensure that when it comes to agriculture, now with the Internet of Things, you can place sensors in the earth that can show you when your crops have yielded. These are all things that will help, that satellite will help to make better. Earthquakes, natural disasters, satellites can help us, satellite imaging can help us understand these phenomena better. And also when it comes to real-time interventions, it can tell us where people are even located when there's an earthquake, for instance, or any disaster. If a building or there's a bomb anywhere, satellite imagery, the satellite ecosystem, when done well, and that is why we need a space policy, can help us to discover that. And even fast forward, now there's space mining. So people are actually investing in going to space to research on the minerals in space and how we can use them on Earth to manufacture for manufacturing purposes. So Ghana needed to position itself to benefit from all this, and that is why the space policy is a timely intervention that we can all benefit from.
Okay, and So you've mentioned the space policy, you've also mentioned the citizen app, and you've also mentioned some of the things that the communication,
The government,
the government is doing in the
the telecoms ecosystem.
yeah,
Yes.
boosting the life of the everyday business or tech business professional life. But for Tech in Ghana, what's your core goal for coming for Tech in Ghana?
So I was invited as a speaker,
Okay.
yes, to talk about the enabling environment,
Okay.
and that's the acronym, the access, which is the affordability, connection, connectivity, capital, the need for funding, which there's so many projects, and there's seed funding from about $40 billion of seed funding that the government has given to small businesses, of which tech companies are part. Then you come to the E, which is the when C. So I've spoken about access,
Yeah.
connectivity, right, capital, and then the enabling technology. So this is the AI, the blockchain, how to ensure that that also thrives. And when you go to the Bank of Ghana, for instance, you know, they have regulatory sandboxes. So this is where innovators can go and innovate in AI, blockchain, in biotech, for instance, based in a regulated environment to ensure that they do it right, they do it ethically. As you know, there's this another side of AI, particularly ethical AI is something that is on the rise, because AI is good, but it also can be used for bad. Then we come to S, which is safety and security. So that too, there's the need for an ecosystem. We just did our SIM registration. Now, when somebody wants to get money from you, you know the person who you are sending the money to, you know the person who you are getting money from. And this is made possible because of the SIM registration. That allows you to track. So fraud has reduced considerably because of these kind of initiatives that the government has put in place. And we are going further and better and better. And internet penetration has improved. In 2016, it was about 32%. Now we're at 72%. So the people who have access to internet are 72%. But there's still more to be done. And progressively, there's so many projects that the government is putting in place, like amplifying the citizen app, putting in place skills training for people, numbering quite a high number, about 1 million skills training and the likes, to ensure that we are well placed to compete on the national scale,
So what are
on the global scale.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are the opportunities or avenues for partnerships that entrepreneurs and businesses can have with the Communications Authority?
So with the government, I keep on making it government,
Okay.
because we are an implementation agency of the Ministry of Communications and Digitalization. So I want to put it in a context. So for instance, there's a prospect which viewers can read about, of the creation of 100 million seed fund for those of us in the tech space, so that we can get funding. I think funding is one of the challenges that
100
most of
million
us
cedis,
dollars.
$100 million.
Dollars seed fund, yes. And that's something that we should all look to and look forward to benefiting from. So we can read about it and just Google the $100 million seed fund that the government seeks to put in place, and you can learn more about the opportunities that will be in place. But some of the opportunities that are even currently in place are the Ghana Enterprises Agency funding for the BizBox. So that's business in a box. So you can go for skills training as a startup for free, and they give you the tools to be able to ensure that you are able to situate yourself to compete as a brand, or to ensure that your business flourishes. And any assistance that you need is granted you. That's the same with the Youth Employment Agency, which also assists youth with such skills and practical ways in which to ensure that your business flourishes.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Nanajua,
much too. You've
for
been an
joining us.
engaging, it's been an engaging conversation.
Absolutely, it has been.
Thank
You
you.
very much for
Thank
your
you.
time. Yes, so I've just been speaking with the secretary to the National Communications Authority, Nanajua, and she has basically listed out some of the key things that the government is doing in the technology space and some of the avenues for impact as well. I've just been joined by Mr. Gideon Brefo. I met him in the entrance when I was coming, and he is the CEO and co-founder of Hyperspace. Thank you very much for joining me today.
You're most welcome.
Okay,
Yeah.
so can you introduce Hyperspace to us?
Right. Hyperspace is a tech and innovation hub that is located at Kumasi. We are just at Denyame. Our role is to support early stage startups and provide them with business development support, tech support, introduce them to other mentors and investors, and then provide them access to markets.
Okay.
Yes.
Absolutely. And you have been with Tech in Ghana for the past 7 years, and you have always been a long-time supporter. What makes you keep coming back?
It's an amazing event.
Okay.
And for me, we don't have any tech event like this in Ghana. This is all we have. And so for some of us, we have felt that we need to support it. It's something that needs to stay.
Yeah.
If we want our ecosystem to be enabled and a lot of people seeing that, okay, this is where I can actually go and get support to grow.
What are some of the supports you gained from Tech in Ghana?
Oh, mine has been many. You know, in a space, you always want to enter into different communities, network with others. I remember, I think the third edition in London,
Okay.
I got connected to another lady who lives in London, but originally from Uganda. And she's the one that introduced me to the EU funding community. And now we've worked on over 7 projects funded by the EU.
Okay.
So that's just one of the opportunities you get, networking with people who are grounded in the ecosystem, doing amazing things.
I mean, I'm excited about the EU funding opportunity. Would you want to share about how it works?
Oh, yes. So, you know, the EU funding opportunities, most of them focusing on building collaboration between EU and Africa.
Okay.
It always works with a number of organizations coming together as a consortium. And mostly you have some partners from the African countries, Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, etc., joining hands with some organizations from Europe
Okay.
to implement projects that seek to enhance the collaboration between EU and Africa. So I'll give you an example. We
Okay.
worked on one called the African EU. So that one focused on digital innovation hubs in Africa and Europe.
Okay.
So it built the first transcontinental networking academy, providing some kind of blueprints for digital innovations hubs to follow if they want to actually give better support to the startups that they work with.
Wow.
And be able to connect them to the EU market and vice versa.
What's the name of this?
African EU.
African EU.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And you have also been part of the session, the Kumasi Overdrive. And tell us about that session. What did you talk about? Are we going to Kumasi?
We are going and we are ready to welcome you all.
Okay.
It's something that we've pushed for a number of years, and we are just excited to see that it has materialized.
Okay.
At least it's been mentioned.
Yeah.
And we are going to do all we can to make it work. So what it is that all of you that are here and those who are going to have the interest to participate in the Tech in Ghana 2025 in November, you are coming to Kumasi.
Yeah.
Good for us. You know, we even had somebody from the Otumfuo's Palace come to do the announcement.
Amazing.
He's the one that is leading the Otumfuo Investment Fund. And so the interest, even from the traditional authorities, is amazing.
Amazing.
So I think what you are going to see differently is a tech expo mixed with culture
Wow.
and tradition.
Wow.
And like he showed with the picture, it's going to be colorful. You know, where we are the epitome of the kente weaving and the rest. So we're going to see all those colorful and then traditional expo. So that's what you can look forward to.
Now, what are the opportunities for people living in Kumasi, especially in the tech community?
A lot of opportunities. You know, the other parts of the country have been left off from some of these big opportunities. Being able to meet big players in the ecosystem and connecting with them. And then I think also even among the locals who are innovating, mostly people are working in isolation. They need platforms like Tech in Ghana where they can all meet, know, okay, what's up with you? What are you working on? How can I be part? How can we collaborate? So I'm looking forward to the situation where people get to meet people and broker some deals to collaborate, and then also meet others who are coming from other parts of Ghana and then even outside Ghana, and collaborate to access bigger markets or even get support in terms of investment. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Amazing. So the Kumasi Overdrive, we've just had Gideon Brefo from Hyperspace share with us some of the exciting things that we should expect at Kumasi next year.
Yes.
Yes, Tech in Ghana is going to have their session in November 2025 in Kumasi.
Yeah.
And you heard him. He mentioned that even the Otunfuo, the palace is ready to receive us.
Yeah.
And this exciting news, especially if you are watching us from Kumasi and its environs. And I'm really excited about this opportunity. So before you go, I want you to share with our audience about some of the things that you are working on, and maybe what you expect, whether partnerships and basically.
Right. So what we are working on, one, is to actually bridge the gap between tradition, academia, and then the innovation space.
Okay.
And then also, like you rightly said, we are looking forward to new partnerships happening. Not only partnerships between the innovators or the stakeholders in Kumasi with those from outside, but even within Kumasi itself and in the Ashanti region, people getting to understand what is happening and then forging partnerships that will help promote what is happening in Kumasi.
Okay, so Hyperspace is ready to collaborate with you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hyperspace is ready to collaborate with you. So do join in as Tech in Ghana comes to Kumasi. I mean, if you have been to Kumasi, you really know about the rich culture. They basically represent the richness of the Ghanaian culture, and the music, the food, and the clothing, everything around Kumasi is basically royalty. And it's exciting. It's really exciting that Tech in Ghana is doing this. Kudos to the team, and kudos to Akusia and Ojo. I have, yes.
Hello.
I've just been joined by Cecil from eCampus. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. And we have been seeing in the news that eCampus has rebranded. Can you share with us the whole process of rebranding?
Oh, yeah. So that's a tough one. I mean, I thought it was going to be that straightforward. And then we started the process as far back as 2022. Yeah.
Wow.
Going through the brand guide, it's a whole couple of things.
It is.
And then trying to understand why this needs to happen. I mean, I kept pushing back my design team. I'm like, look, man, let's just keep this old thing. But what we realized was we kept realizing, okay, how do we answer this question? Old keys won't sell new things, right? Or old keys won't open new doors, right?
Yeah.
Old ideas can't create new things. So they kept telling me that I'm like, but we're not old. I'm like, we're pretty old. I mean, so you need
10 years?
You need to refresh, feel young, and go. I'm like, okay. But it has to mean money, it has to mean revenue. So how is that going to help our revenue? So I remember when doing those strategy sessions, some of my team members were like, look, sometimes we walk through the doors of a bank because we have banks as customers now. And we're trying to sell eCampus as a compliance assessment tool. And those who know as I move from Pasco to bank like. So it's like they don't take you serious. All right. They're like, how did you get to? Please. We don't know, but we have other banks using it. That kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
You go to the insurance company and say, look, I want to help you product knowledge assessment. And they're like, BC, SC, product, like how? So clearly the old key was not effectively opening new doors.
Yeah.
So we had to get a new key, tell the whole world we've got a new key. They didn't really go like, what does this new key do? Which doors does it open? Then we can now explain. And gradually that will reposition us, that will explain to people who we've become. And then at least we'll talk about us. And then hopefully new doors can open, even if we don't use the key. Right? So that's the whole mindset around the rebrand. But of course, because we've evolved, I mean, the new brand communicates that. You know, we started with basic education, trying to help people pass exams.
Yeah.
Now we offer employability assessments to help employers make decisions and to help job seekers also make decisions. And then we now do what? Compliance as a service, product knowledge assessment, leadership assessment. So it's like we've taken the entire value chain, right? And to succeed in that value chain, it's not a straight line. You know? It's a very difficult balance.
Yeah.
So if you look at the new logos,
Yeah.
like they're all trying to balance on that small basic education, and then we kind of help you balance, right? So the whole idea is if you go through eCampus, I mean, life no balance, but eCampus go balance them, you know? So that's the whole idea there.
Wow. I love the analogy. I love the story. And I mean, you're right. Okay,
Won't
will not
open the doors,
open
you know?
new doors. Yeah.
Looking at you like, so that's where the whole rebranding came from. I mean, staying up, I mean, on Monday night all the way to midnight to just watch the team switch all the logos, you know what I mean, on socials, switch the logos, switch the signature on the emails. That's where I realized our logo are in a lot of places that I didn't even realize. I mean, and great job to my team. We wouldn't have done it without them, especially the design, marketing team. Oh, man, it's crazy. Like the amount of work they need to do, send emails to our customers, send in-app notifications to our users that we are changing. So yeah, I'm glad so we successfully have a new key. So
Yeah.
we open new doors.
Yeah. I mean, you have been you've played a very pivotal role in the EdTech ecosystem. And I mean, as a leader in the ecosystem, I think eCampus has been the most known, and I think you had the most users
Yeah.
as an EdTech product. Wow. Looking back from when you began up till now, what would you have changed about your approach? And I mean, looking at the progress that you have made, what would you basically be focused on in that regard?
I mean, from what we know now,
Do you want to tell us the story about where you started?
I mean, from what I know now,
Okay.
we probably would have focused on getting devices.
Devices, as in hardware.
Yeah, because I mean, we don't want to be a hardware company.
Okay.
We don't want to be a tablet company. We don't want to be a smartphone company. But if I should do this again
Okay.
from the beginning,
Yeah.
I would probably be a hardware company with the software on it. eCampus would be an unboxing experience.
Is
If I had
that
to do it
reason?
again. Yes, there's I mean, I've been doing this personally since 2003. But as a company, eCampus since 2015. So I've done 2 decades
Yeah.
of my life,
Yeah.
and eCampus a decade. What I've realized is without the device, there's actually no touch point. Look, we have over 100,000 users,
Yeah.
right? But at any given time, there are less than 10,000 that are active. And when you find out, it's either there's internet issue, there's hardware issue, or there's electricity issue. Electricity we cannot solve, but we managed to solve the internet issue by going to a partnership with Telecel in 2022 before the acquisition.
Okay.
So if you're on Telecel network in 8 countries on the continent, you don't need internet to use the campus. Zero rated. Then the hardware problem. Because at the end of the day, eCampus needs to be installed on a device. You don't control devices.
Yeah.
So if I should do it again, will probably be like an iPhone. I mean, eCampus. So it's a device and a software and everything. So you unbox it and then you turn it on and it already has internet. Yeah, that's what we would have done. But now we are forced to partner with device companies
Yeah.
and try to get as many devices out as possible. I mean, for 3 months running, we've been ranked number 1 in Ghana. I mean, by Traction. And Traction is a global ranking company.
Yeah. Congratulations on that.
And then I didn't even know. I mean, like, while we're doing a deck, we're putting a deck, and then I needed some things that my design team were delayed. So I just went to Google to just type eCampus so that I'll pick some old pictures for the deck, and then the thing popped up. I'm like, hold on. I went to check, I'm like, oh my goodness. So I sent to the team, and the team were like, it's been like this for a whole month, and we didn't know that we were number 1. Quickly, they went to change everything on social media, number 1.
Wow.
You know?
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, as I speak, we're onboarding close to 6 million users, both private schools and then the child schools. And only 1.3 million has tablets.
Wow.
So how are we going to onboard the remaining? This October I had to quickly rush to IFC World Bank in DC to try and see if I can convince them to get some money to get tablets for those who don't have it. And you don't want to go to a parent and say spend $300 on a tablet. They're already overburdened with textbooks, school fees. So seriously, maybe it's not too late. We'll probably become a hardware company eventually. So that at least, you can lease these devices to the students. They don't own it ultimately. When they graduate from school, they leave it behind. Somebody else will use it. So now, even if it's just 30 cedis a year, by the 6th generation, you would have paid for the tablet. To my point. So that's one of the biggest hurdle we have now. But it's okay. We figure it out.
Now we are attacking Ghana, so let's talk about the exciting parts.
Yeah.
I mean, as for the figuring out,
Oh, yeah,
we are figuring out.
We've rebranded.
Yeah.
Now we are more agile. We're attracting a lot more, investors, attracting a lot more customers. So who knows, man? We could just next thing you just tell, okay, now we're launching the hardware. You never know. So
that would be exciting.
yeah, probably
That would
because
be
from
very
the look
exciting.
of things, we might end up going that direction.
So you've given us a tip.
A little bit, because that problem needs to go away. Just like we
Okay.
made the internet problem go away through Telecel.
Yeah.
And now the other telcos are already partnering with us, even Orange in Senegal. So we've made that problem go away.
Okay.
If we don't get a partner like the telcos who help us make the device problem go away, we might as well just manufacture some.
It's not too difficult. No, it's not unattainable based on your traction. Okay, so the future of eCampus, you've mentioned hardware, but then let's just dive deeper into the future of EdTech in Ghana. I mean, you mentioned that you've been in the space for over 2 decades. I mean, you should have a book, right? But then let's look at it in the age of machine learning and artificial intelligence. How do you see EdTech evolving in the space?
So there are 2 things I look at when we talk about EdTech.
Okay.
All right. I look at it more of what are the catalyst, like what will make it work. You see?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can design fancy stuff, but what model, what catalyst, what will make it gel? Because you walk into a school environment, you have device, you have internet, you have software, and so how will it work? What's the framework? How will it be operationalized so that it suits into the lifestyle and daily routines of your stakeholders. So I think that's where we need to figure out. Anybody who cracks that will meet the market leader. Because there are a lot of nice tools everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, this will help your child read. This will help your child play. This will help your child. Okay, so what's the manual?
Yeah.
What's the instructional manual on integrating this into my child's life seamlessly? So that's the first thing we need to be thinking as an ecosystem, right? So that requires a lot of what? Trials, R&D, test several models, and then you will begin to understand. And in the same model might not even work in different environments.
Absolutely.
Some environments will require a whole completely different model,
Yeah.
right? So the same way, it's no more about data, it's about what? LLMs, large language models. First, it used to be about data. Now the data is, if you don't have a large language model to analyze the data, it's of no use.
Yeah.
So it used to be, oh, we don't have enough EdTech tools. Now we have a lot of EdTech tools, but we don't have a model to integrate it into the various use cases, so the stakeholders cannot get the best out of it. So they're like, okay, I bought this for my child. They use it twice. Do you get my point? So that's one thing that I'm looking at. The second will be, of course, this year we've seen a little more investment into EdTech,
Yeah.
but it's still not as compared to fintech, as compared to agri-tech, and even insurtech, right? So I think we should invest in education. I don't know where we got that notion from that education must be free. Maybe the infrastructure around it can be free, but we need to invest in EdTech. We have to make conscious effort and pour money into EdTech. I mean, they say education is expensive, but then try ignorance. You realize it's more expensive.
Absolutely.
So those are the two things. We create a model that works. And I'm sure when we get enough investment, a lot of people will try a lot more models and we'll figure out the ones that actually work in general. So those are the two things for me.
So before you go, I want you to share a word to your customers and incoming customers. What would you like them to know, or what's the new eCampus experience before you leave?
Okay, so for those out there, the vision of eCampus is to help you learn smarter, become employable, and attain prosperity. And our mission on how to achieve that is we've developed a technology that measures, analyze, and predict your readiness for examination, your readiness for employment, and your compliance readiness.
Okay.
So if you get onto eCampus, we measure so you can learn smarter. We analyze so you can know, or you can become self-aware of your strengths and weaknesses. And then we predict so you know your next steps. That is the promise of eCampus, that you become so self-aware that you can, from today, project 10 years into the future and have a fair idea of what your life will look like. Because if you know your strength and weakness at the high school level, you would know what kind of program to do at the tertiary. And when you get there, you start doing our employability assessment test. You earn an employability score in which ever failed, then we can recommend you for internship with our own B2B customers. So by the time you are graduating, you already have done 6-7 internships within organizations that are already using eCampus. The chances are you would pick problems from there, take it to the classroom as project work, and return there before you even graduate. Once you get there, we'll put you on our compliance assessment so you stay compliant so you don't lose the job. That's why we're so confident when we say we help you learn smarter, become employable, and attain prosperity. So that's a journey. It's a lifestyle experience, and I encourage you guys to try it out.
Thank you very much, Cecil.
Thank you
for your time. Thank you very much. And Cecil has said a lot. about education. He has said a lot about infrastructure and the direction eCampus is going. And Cecil has been in the education sector for over 10 years. In fact, close to 2 decades. He mentioned since 2003. You are using this.
Oh,
Yes,
you have a mic? Oh, you have a mic.
yes, please. And yes, so I've just been joined by me, Gogo, and he is. Can you share what you do?
So I am the lead for impact sourcing at ESAL.
Can you speak a bit?
I'm the lead for impact sourcing at ESAL.
Okay, ESAL.
Yes.
What does ESAL do?
So ESAL is a business process outsourcing company that provides services, customer service, sales and marketing, and also talent development services as well. We've been in existence since 2001, right? So it's a well-established company, and we have over 400 employees in 2 locations in Accra. Yes.
So you are a Ghanaian company.
Yes,
Wow.
yes, indigenous Ghanaian company,
Wow.
proudly.
Proudly Ghanaian. And I understand you have worked with so many companies, ECG, and can you mention? Or you
That's
don't,
correct.
You don't have to mention.
That's correct.
Okay.
We've provided customer service solutions
Yeah.
for a range of companies, like you mentioned, the utilities sector,
Okay.
for a number of the banks. We also have managed IT managed service solutions
Okay.
as well. So we've over the years we've been able to touch different sectors in the Ghanaian economy, from banking, like we mentioned, through telecoms,
Okay.
utilities, payment services, airlines, and aviation as well.
Okay. So I understand you are also a business process outsourcing company. Can you tell us a bit more about that and how companies can work with you?
Absolutely. So for business process outsourcing, companies outsource particular function of their business to us. This enables them to be able to focus on their core business.
Yeah.
And also, we've been able to specialize in certain services like customer service, being able to provide that quality attention and service for customers, being able to provide solutions for sales and digital marketing
Okay.
as well. So we handle services for companies so that they can then focus on what they are really good at. And like our tagline says, you give it to us and we will take it from here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And today you are at Tech in Ghana,
Yes.
and you have a stand as well. What should we expect when we visit your stand?
Sure. So at our stand, you'll be able to see some of our solutions. And then also we have our very able sales representatives that would explain in detail how we can help your business.
Okay.
They're there to listen. First, listen to your problems. Listen to what are your pain points for your business, and how can we address them. And then they'll show you some of the stuff we've done and how we've been able to work with a lot of different organizations, especially in customer engagement.
Yeah.
Being able to our brand ambassadors, who are our first frontline customer service agents, showing you how they are able to address problems that your end customers bring up, how they are able to solve inquiries, how they are able to provide assistance that they need in a very professional way, in a friendly way, to make sure that your brand puts its best foot forward out there. Yeah.
Okay. And as you are also in Tech in Ghana, a little bit told me that you are hiring.
Sure.
Yeah. So can you share the qualifications of people you are looking for?
Absolutely. Like I mentioned, our brand ambassadors are the lifeline of our business, and we are hiring brand ambassadors for different roles.
Okay.
So the minimum qualifications are people that have graduated from high school and also college. HND holders as well are welcome to apply. We have an assessment process that you go through.
Okay.
And then after the assessment, if you're successful through the assessment interview process, we take you through a very comprehensive training program that will prepare you for work in customer engagement, in sales. And we are very proud of our approach in being able to prepare people for the work that they are going to do on the front lines for us. At ESAL, one of the key things is really a career development. You realize that a lot of our leadership in senior management started out as brand ambassadors. So we really care about your career growth and development. Those are the highlights of taking an opportunity to work with us and taking that step as well. Yeah.
All right, Nee, before you go, how has your experience been at Tech in Ghana? And what would you like to share about the next steps of ESAL?
Right. I think it's been a very, very good experience. It's been great to meet different people and see different companies. I think for me, what has been very good is to meet people that are also in the same area that we are in, which is recruiting and training young Ghanaians. And I look forward to be able to collaborate with some of these companies in terms of offering joint training programs, each of us bringing our expertise to be able to design something that would be able to plug the skills gaps that we have for our young people as well.
Thank you very much, Nee, for joining us.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Okay, so I've just been speaking with Nee, who is the head of impact at ESAL, and he has shared with us some of the projects that they are working on. And it's all about storytelling, security, and synergy here at Tech in Ghana. So if you are not here, you know that you are missing out on so much. And today, just this morning, I've spoken with a number of people. I've spoken with ESAL, who is a customer service agency, and they're currently hiring. So young people out there, if you want to be a brand ambassador for ESAL and you want to venture into communication and customer service or call center service, you can visit their stand. If you are also interested in learning more about the work that all the other people, all the other stakeholders are doing, especially the exhibitors, you can definitely reach out to them in their stands here at Tech in Ghana. I have just been joined by Henry from Pro Africa.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Can you share with us what Kiro Africa is doing?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so at Kuro Africa, what we're doing is we're helping individuals and organizations make more informed decisions around real estate and business in Ghana. And we do that by we've been collecting data for 4 years about the real estate market in Ghana. So on our platform, if you wanted to understand what is the typical price of a 4-bedroom house in Dansumai, you can put that in. It will tell you the minimum, the maximum, the average, how many properties are typically available, and also the price trend. And we even have things like population data. So how many people are in the area, what kind of jobs do they do? And we have infrastructure information, schools, attractions, construction projects coming up. So it's like having the whole country in your hand.
Wow, that sounds really exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're in the real estate state. A friend of mine was looking for the cheapest place in Accra.
Right.
Can you tell us?
Yeah, I mean, it depends what you constitute as cheap.
Okay.
So, I mean, you can get everything from 150 cedis all the way up to $10,000 a month in terms of rent. Those typically tend to be single room, chamber and hall type situations. But there are some really intriguing hotspots that are quite close to town, but the prices are quite good. So like your Agbogbas, your Pokwasis, those kind of areas. And I would always say like follow the development of the road network, because that's going to be helping your investment grow, or potentially you can get a cheap price now on rent, but in the future it'll probably go up. So yeah, I mean, there's lots of, at the end of the day, not everybody's making dollars in this country. So people have to live somewhere. So there's lots of opportunities for affordable places. And the housing deficit is not for the top end of the market, the rich, $100 a night, cantonments, Laboni. The housing deficit is for the average person. So that is the 1,000, 2,000 city mark is where we really need a lot more housing in Ghana.
And from your analytics, have you realized what are some of the things that inform the pricing of places in Ghana?
Ghana pricing sometimes is formed by whatever somebody ate that morning for breakfast, because it also depends largely on who you are as a person and what someone can think they can get out of you. So, for example, I just gave an example just now. I know my business partner purchased a property in Tesano, 3-bedroom apartment for $120,000. He told me the owner has another one he wants to sell for the same amount. I went there, didn't tell the owner who I was, and he told me it was $250,000. So that's the thing. So that's the point of Kuro, is we're trying to build transparency back into the market, so people know the breadth of options that they have in terms of pricing. So if you've been quoted 400,000 in Njinganor, but there are 8 other listings that are between 200,000 and 300,000, that's your room to negotiate, because these are my options I have. I think a lot of time people don't know what their options are.
Yes, absolutely. And the lack of option definitely allows you to have a skewed mentality,
right,
and you might also lose out the benefits that other options available might offer you.
Exactly.
So you showcase your platform at Tech in Ghana.
Yes.
Can you highlight some of the key features of your platform?
Yeah, so the key features are our data lab, which is our main flagship product. That's where you can do the searches by region, district, town, bedroom size, your price limits, and it will give you, as I said, all your price information, minimum, maximum, typical, average. It will tell you how many of these properties are houses, how many apartments. You can choose by type, and then it also give you a list of all the individual apartments. And we have this thing called a price overview feature, which is a bar chart that tells you this is the most occurring price for your search. So if you said 4-bedroom house in Achimota, it would say that is typically around 3,000 to 4,000 cities. The next price point that is typical is 6 to 8 or whatever. So it gives you an idea of the distribution. We have all the information around attractions, schools, health facilities, construction projects, and then we have population information. And then we also have market analysis. So if you're a developer and you want to build a project, you can say, well, I want to charge this for rent. And Kuro will tell you, well, this is slightly high for the market, but these are the kinds of individuals you can target. These are the jobs they do. This is how many of them there are. This is the percentage of the population. And then finally, we're now building AI into our tool. So you can use natural language to ask questions. What's the cheapest area in Accra? And the AI will ask you some further questions to qualify, and then it'll give you an answer.
And who do you partner with?
So we partner with different organizations for different reasons. So we're trying to get closer to some of the ministries to get some of the plannings that are coming. We partner with private organizations. We've even partnered with learning organizations and NGOs who train individuals in Ghana. They use our data set to help train in data analytics and things like that. So we partner with whoever's the right fit. So yeah, it works well.
At Tech in Ghana this year, we are focused on security and synergy and storytelling. Do you want to pick one and then talk about how Kuro Africa is working in that direction?
Yeah, so I suppose from a security perspective, from a personal security perspective, if you're an investor in Ghana and you don't have visibility of the market, you could be misled when it comes to pricing. I told you about the story of someone just quoting 250 just because they didn't know who I was. But if you have some data available to you, you can be more secure in the knowledge that, you know what, I know at least what the range should be. So if someone comes with a ridiculous price, I know that I can negotiate way lower. So you are more secure in that regard.
Absolutely. I think you are making a huge impact.
Thank you.
In
Appreciate
Ghana.
it. Thank you.
I just want to find out, as a last question, are you only in Ghana?
At the moment, we're only in Ghana, but the idea is, hence the name Kuro Africa, the idea is, and the vision is to visualize the whole continent as data, easily accessible, and be able to move from country to country and see what's the price here, what kind of people are here, what's the education levels. We want to be the #1 research partner for individuals and organizations coming into Africa. So that's the dream.
I think that's a very huge dream.
Yeah, it's a big dream.
It is.
You got to dream big.
Yeah, and we love that you are having that dream, and Are you a Ghanaian, right?
I'm a British-born Ghanaian.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much
Pleasure.
for joining
Pleasure.
us. So I have just been speaking with Curo Africa, and they are a data analytics company and in the real estate. So they are, yes, they have just given us an understanding of real estate markets in Ghana. So you go to Curo Africa and you're able to know the most expensive place in Ghana, where to rent, and so many other analytics. As you mentioned, they partner with organizations as well who use their analytics in, of course, data analysis. So you have been with me. My name is Akule Abuna Okai, co-host of Building Bites, where we are telling relevant stories about the Ghana tech ecosystem to drive growth and innovation. This is the Tech in Ghana TV. We are going on a short break for the, yes, we'll catch you back soon. Thank you very much.